Hi everyone! Today I will be showing you a tutorial on how to make a candy cane flower pen arrangement centerpiece. This can be a great teacher's gift, a great addition to display on any desk or entryway, anywhere your heart desires really. Anyone who receives this will love it. A great elegant looking DIY without spending much to achieve the look. So without further ado, let's begin. Okay, so for the first part of the tutorial, you are going to choose a container that you are going to make your vase, your centerpiece from. As I said, with this one here, I chose a pickle jar, but here I have a jalapeno jar and a Tostitos jar, which are smaller than this one, and that's kind of what I wanted to do. Just to kind of have a layering effect when I have all three of them together. These ones I'm going to be keeping for myself. So I'm going to, or the very first thing you're going to do is you're going to take the lids off because you don't need them. So just put them aside. And you want to make sure that you've cleaned the jar very well and then dried it very well. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our candy cane. These are actually shorter than the ones I used for this arrangement, but they will work great with these two jars that I have. Actually, this one here could have been a little bit taller, but I'm going to use it anyway because these are the only candy canes I have right now. So, all you do is you just put your candy cane up to your jar, just to get an idea of where you're going to place it. And you take your hot glue gun, you run a bead of glue along the back, and then just stick it on. And you will continue to do the same step until you have fully covered the jar with your candy canes. And you just want to make sure that you keep the top pretty level. If the bottom's uneven, that's no problem because the bottom will be covered. But you want to keep the top fairly level, fairly even. Okay, so now you have filled the jar with the candy canes, and as I said, you don't really have to worry about the bottom. As you can see, there's some that are longer, some that are shorter, but that really doesn't matter. This is why I said just make sure you line the top up, because the bottom is going to be covered with ribbon, which is the next step. Line it up at the bottom, and that will cover any of the imperfections of the candy cane. I really, again, I like to use ribbon that has the bottom, that has the top and the bottom that has a band that runs across the bottom, because then really you don't notice, you don't see any of the candy canes and it just looks perfect like that. So you just run a bead of glue and glue that on. So now the next step is making your flower pen. What you're going to do is you're going to take your flowers and remove any tags or anything that is on the bunch. These ones here are really pretty simple. They really don't have a lot of foliage. In this bunch there are 6 flowers, and I will be using all 6. Being that there is no extra foliage, I want the bouquet to look really full. And sometimes what I might do is, if I have other bunches that I've taken flowers off of, I keep the foliage because you can always add it on to other projects. And sometimes I do add them on just to give it a nice fuller look, or sometimes also I like to mix the different greens. It just gives it a really pretty finish. But with this one here, I will just be using the flower. So you take your stem, and what you're going to do is at the base of the flower, you're just going to cut the stem off. I can use my scissors, but if your scissors don't work, then you just get a wire cutter and use them. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to take one of your pens. And again, I do like using these studio pens from the Dollar Tree because in the cap there's a bit of an indentation. And so what I do is I put a bead of glue right into that. And then I just attach my flower to the cap. And then I just hold that for around 30 seconds or so. So that's one, and then I do the same to the rest of the flowers until I have completed my 6 pens. Alright, so now that you have glued your flower tops to the top of your pen, what we're going to do is we're going to cover up this cap, because when it's in the vase you really don't see it. Well, actually with this centerpiece you probably will. So I will be adding probably some more to the vase just to act as a filler so that you don't see. Because like I said, this particular bunch didn't have extra foliage on it. It pretty much was just the flower petal. And I usually like to have it more full, so I will be adding something to it, as I will show you later. But for now, I like to cover the cap so that you see green, so that it looks like the stem of the flower. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take some floral tape and pull about a foot. Then we're going to run some more glue around the bottom of the flower. And then I take my floral tape and I go over the glue and I stay as close to the petal as possible. And if it comes down, you just push it back up, and then you start working your way down the cap slightly pulling the tape, because that will make it adhere to the cap better. And once I get to the bottom, I just start working my way up again, slightly pulling on the floral tape. Until you have something like this. And I like doing this because it just really covers the cap, and more so for when you take the pen out of the vase to use it, it just looks a lot cuter if it's green instead of blue. So you continue to do that until you've covered the caps of all your other flower pens. Okay, so at this point in the project, I have wrapped all the caps of the flower pens, and I just think that they look a lot nicer this way. You don't really notice it when it's in the vase. Well, actually with this centerpiece you can, because as I said, with this particular centerpiece, when I purchased these flowers, there was more foliage on this flower, so that when I put 5 flowers into this one, it really filled it up. But with this centerpiece, these flowers that I purchased, it was pretty much just the rose bud and no foliage. So you can really see the pens in this one. So what I did was, instead of using more flowers, which you could do, you could just buy another bunch and fill it up with flowers, but I also like the look of adding other things to the centerpiece, and really you can add anything, but what I decided to add today was some baby's breath. So I already cut all of the stems off of the one bunch that I purchased, and now I'm going to show you what I mean by adding a different type of, like I said, even a different type of flower, but in this case I'm going to add some baby's breath. So I kind of just put it in between, and I actually really like the white with the white flowers. I thought I liked it with the red, but I actually like the white with the white. But it also looks really pretty with the red roses. I just think that looks so pretty. Again, the red on its own, or even with baby's breath, or the white with the baby's breath. But I mean, even if you want to pair the two together, if you're going to display them, I just think that they look so pretty together. Okay, so in ending this DIY, there's just a couple other things I want to mention. If you happen to be a fan of the Dollar Tree or Dollarama, then you know the beloved glass candle stick holder. I just decided to put it at the bottom of this piece just to show you another way in displaying this, whether you're giving it as a gift or keeping it for yourself for home decor. It just makes a beautiful piece look even that much more elegant. Also, I mentioned earlier in the video I had a Tostitos jar, and I was going to make a third vase, candy cane vase, just to show you, because I like displaying them in groups of 3s. So, but I actually ended up using a sweetened condensed milk metal can, and I just wanted to show you that if I do decide to use any type of can, I like to, at the bottom of the can, either put a felt piece or a styrofoam sheet just to cover up the can. It just gives it a more finished look, and whether you're keeping it for yourself or especially if you're giving it as a gift, I just think that it looks so much nicer that way. So whether you decide to display them with the glass candle stick holder or whether you just leave them as they are, they will make a beautiful gift. Or even if you decide to keep it yourself, it will make a beautiful decor piece. It's really one of my favorite DIYs to do, just because it's really so easy to make. It doesn't take a lot of time, and best of all, it does not take a lot of money. So I hope you like this DIY. If you did, then please like it, share it, comment, and if you decide to make one of your very own, I hope you share it as well. Thanks so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you in my next one. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.